Welcome to this tutorial, Valve and Actuator Selection in HIT Portal. This example is for a heating plant with pressureless distribution with 3-port kVS valves. Here is the plant situation. In this plant, the main pump at the boiler ensures that the water circulates across the boiler and the main distribution pipes to the bypass. The two consumers, heating group 1 and heating group 2, are equipped with a mixing circuit. They must retrieve the required amount of water with their respective pumps from the bypass. The control valve and the corresponding actuator for heating group 1 can very easily be selected in the Siemens HIT Portal. Click on Product Selection. Then, Valves and Actuators. Then, select Valves by application. Select Heating Groups. Now you arrive on the selection page for valves that are suitable for heating consumer groups. The selection has already been restricted based on the application. Click on Calculation to correctly select the control valve based on the plant data. First, select the type of hydronic circuit. Select Mixing Circuit for a pressureless distribution. Click on Use Selected Circuit. Now, the volumetric flow that the valve must handle must be calculated. Click on the calculator symbol to enter the detail information. Here once again the plant schematic with the data for the heating group 1. The rated capacity of 70 kilowatts can be entered directly. Now it needs to be considered which temperature difference is applicable for the valve selection. The control valve operates with the generator supply temperature of 75 degrees, and the return flow temperature from the heating group of 55 degrees. Therefore the applicable temperature difference for the valve selection is 20 Kelvin. Click OK. The volumetric flow has been calculated at 3.01 cubic meters per hour. Now it needs to be considered which resistance, delta PV100, the control valve must bring into the plant to achieve good controllability. Click on the calculator symbol to enter the required detail information. First, the pressure difference, delta PMV, in the piping sections with variable flow must be determined. Here once again the plant schematic, with the variable flow piping sections marked in red. For the example, an experience value of 3 kPa is applied. The calculation works by default with a valve authority PV of 0.5. Click OK to take the entries over into the calculation. Based on the volumetric flow and the desired pressure difference across the valve, delta PV100, the calculated nominal flow kV is determined. This means the desired or ideal size or the ideal kVS value of the valve. Click Accept. By doing so, the calculations are being finalized and the selection of applicable control valves will be further limited based on that. This select list can be further reduced. For that, select the desired or required valve parameters such as ports, connection and valve type. The selection is now limited to 4 applicable valves. We select the valve VXG 44.32-16 because this is suitable for a room heating group. Now, select the appropriate actuator for this valve. Here, a select list of suitable actuators is also provided. Now the desired parameters for the actuator must be provided, such as positioning signal, 3 position. Operating voltage, 230 volts. Positioning time, standard, that means 120 seconds. And so on. We select the actuator, SAS 31.00, and the valve and actuator selection is completed. This selection of valve and actuator can now be added to the cart. Or, if there are many valves to be selected, this selection can be added to a project. For heating group 2, the approach is identical to heating group 1. Special consideration must be taken with the fixed premixing. The heating consumer requires a supply temperature of 60 degrees. The boiler provides a supply temperature of 75 degrees. And the return temperature from the consumer is 50 degrees. Therefore, the applicable temperature difference for the control valve is 25 Kelvin. Based on the volumetric flow calculation with this temperature difference and a desired delta PV 100 of also 3 kPa, a list with 4 suitable valves results. Based on the same considerations as applied for heating group 1, a valve type VXG44 is also being selected, with a nominal diameter of 20 and a kVS value of 6.3 cubic meters per hour. Additionally, a suitable actuator is being selected with the same parameters as for heating group 1. Now the control valve and the actuator for heating group 2 are selected. They can also be added to the cart or a project. In summary, here are the selected valves and actuators for the heating groups 1 and 2. Thank you very much for your attention.